Hello, everyone. It's Leslie here on a snowy day in Philadelphia. And I'm here today to talk to you about something that's really a fascinating finding in science over the past few years. Did you know that you have 3 brains? You have 3. That's right. We have the brain in our head. And we know all about this. We know about the brain in the head. But we also have a brain in our heart and a brain in our gut that is made of exactly the same neurons that are in the brain that is in our head. Now, we know about the brain in our mind, right? And then we have the heart brain and the gut brain. And someone is sending me hearts, and I'm just so overjoyed. Thank you. So scientists used to think that our intelligence ran kind of like a one-way street, that it went from the brain in our mind. Our thinking mind would tell our body what to do, send the signals down through the body, and then the body would do what the mind explained for it to do. But now we know that our intelligence actually moves in 2 different directions. So it does move from the brain up here, from the mind down. But then it also moves like a loop, like a highway loop, from the brain in the mind down to the heart brain and then to the gut brain. And then once these intelligence sources are notified, they then react and send messages back up to the brain in our mind. So just take a minute to think about that, because it's pretty cool. What it's telling us is that it's helpful to take a little pause when we're out in the world thinking and doing, so that we take the time to access the information and intelligence sources of the body, so that we can make sure that the choices that we're making from up here are including all of that amazing information that the body is also giving us. Now let's take it back to trauma. So to truly heal from trauma and activate our pure peak potential, we have to activate all of these intelligence sources. There's just no question about that. But the question is how? How do we do that? So we do it by strengthening all 3 brains. And I call this gymnastics. It's gymnastics for our brains. So we all exercise our bodies, right? We exercise our biceps, we exercise our hips and our thighs and our legs and our core and our back and our belly. But I ask you, what are you doing to strengthen the brain in your head, the brain in your heart, and the brain in your gut? We need to be strengthening all 3 of these muscles if we're truly going to fill the voids that we're feeling presently within ourselves and our lives. So how do we do it? Well, we do it by learning the language and then strengthening the language of each one of these brain sources. We know that the language of the brain in our head is the word. You know, words teach us how to think. Words are what we normally use to determine what we do and the choices that we make throughout the day. But how many of us ever question our own thinking skills, right? Because we're taught them by our parents and teachers, and many of us, we know how smart our parents are, and we've gone to great schools and we've had higher levels of education in our lives. But can you stop to imagine, even though you know that you are smart as a whip, that there may be thinking skills you have not yet learned? Skills that could help you better identify what is really happening around and inside of you, and skills that are designed to free you from your limited interpretation of your own reality and the reality of those people around you. So some of these skills are skills in perception checking, perspective building, understanding choice, understanding our projections, conflict resolution, owning our responsibility, creating healthy boundaries, and so many others that offer us a broader view of our life. And this broader view frees us from the limitations and beliefs that we hold about our own reality. So we've just talked about the brain in our head. So now let's go all the way down to the brain in our gut. What is the language of the brain in the gut? Now, the language of the brain in the gut is a language of sensation and intuition. And let's just remember that before there was ever a spoken or written word, it was the brain of the gut, that the brain of sensation and intuition, the language of sensation and intuition that we used in order to create survival. So this, in fact, is our highest self. And our highest self is our safest place. And when we use skills, the skills, for instance, in trauma-informed mindfulness, like learning how to regrow our neurophysiology and neurobiology, how to recreate our somatic system, the how do we recreate feelings of sensation and truly understand them in the organic way in which they operate, and grow the space between our thoughts, feelings, and awareness, we get to strengthen this muscle of the gut. And it's a really important muscle to strengthen. Now, the third brain that we have is our heart brain. And the heart brain is strengthened through the language of emotion. So this is the language of feeling, right? This is accessing happiness and joy and love and acceptance and compassion and understanding, trust, gratitude, and connectedness. And when we build all of these muscles, we are reinventing feelings. All right, someone is telling me that there's like light off of my glasses that's not so wonderful, so I apologize for that. So let's go back to this. So by building these muscles, we reinvent, our feelings and our sensations, our intentions and our emotions, the very things that most of us in our lives, in our desire to create success, have been trained to ignore. Take that in, because that's really important. When we rebuild the gut and heart brain, the areas of ourselves that we often have been trained to ignore, when we rebuild these areas, then we are able to achieve a broader view than the one we are seeing right now. And this broader view gives us many different perspectives, many more than only the one we see right now. And often we look at our own perspective as like this is the only truth there is. We can't even imagine any other possibility. But I am here to tell you that there are many other perspectives that are equal to the one you have in your mind right now. And these additional perspectives give us the information we need to turn conflict into resolution, unity where we now take sides, understanding where we now only judge, and compassion and empathy where we now only take things personally. Strengthening in all of our brain muscles. I'm so sorry about that. That should never have happened. So when we strengthen all of these areas, then we can cultivate a greater understanding, and we can cultivate a greater feeling of safety within ourselves. And when we feel safe in ourselves, then we really don't feel threatened anywhere else in our life. So today I'm going to invite you, as you go through the rest of this day, as you go through tomorrow, and you're making choices in your day, and most of us are really, focused on this brain up here in our mind, I'm going to ask you to slow down just a little bit. I am going to ask you to slow down enough to check in with your heart brain and your gut brain. See if you can hear what they're telling you. Can you feel the sensations that your body is giving you as a result of what you were thinking, right? Can you open your heart and access the emotions that are coming with the thoughts and the words that you are saying, not either to yourself or to somebody else? And check in. Is this what I want to be feeling? Is this bringing me harmony? Is this bringing me understanding? Is this bringing me closer to feeling safety, to feeling love, to feeling connected, to feeling trust? And if it isn't, then you might want to think about what's not feeling safe or what's not feeling good in your body and allow that to begin to color what you say and do. It's a really interesting exercise. So I hope you get a chance to do it. And I will be back tomorrow with more. And remember that loving yourself means to love all the messy parts of you, all the pieces that you may not want to notice. We've got to love all of that. We have to love all of those things within ourselves in order to truly be able to love anybody else. We have to accept all of our parts, even the messy parts, before we can truly love and accept anybody else. And I'm going to leave you with one last question, and this is going to be the subject for tomorrow. It's a big one. I would like for you to ask yourself, if I truly and deeply love myself, would I be allowing myself to have this experience? If I truly and deeply loved myself, would I be allowing these words to come out of my mouth towards someone else? If I truly and deeply loved myself, would I be talking to myself the way that I'm hearing myself talk in this moment of time? And if I truly and deeply loved myself, would I be treating someone else in a way that wasn't showing love, respect, and compassion? So I look forward, thank you guys all for showing up with me today. I look forward to coming on tomorrow to discuss more about learning how to truly and deeply love yourself. And I wish you a beautiful day wherever you are. If you're over here in the Northeast in Philadelphia, enjoy the beautiful snow. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a great day.